recipes for non-killing lifestyle. The recipes are for basic food for a group or for persons each. However, it is that you prefer to use it or not, it's up to everybody. For breakfast, to have it plenty cheap, and cheap has to correspond to abundance outside, without having also that influencing a well-being of humans who work on it and other animals or plants. So it needs to be smart, and that is guided by urge or wanting to eat it. And when eat it, share it also. Eat it and share it. So that is what we feel like we can eat and even give to others because that feels good. The meat is out of question for anyone who runs around with gun or traps others, and for basically for all. I know that it seems that way. Do not take advices for any butcher from any butchers or persons that do so. For children, it is not. The idea is basically this: it's not okay to kill. Okay, if what is killed, giving it to that child, is good when if they're pregnant women, um, is good to that person because nothing else will be killed anymore, then it's okay. If it's not, meaning we kill and somebody will run and kill more, then that is bad, and that results in also accidents during delivery, painful delivery, and nausea, and many other things. So that is to use own judgment and know what kills least is the best. And if nothing can be killed and thriving, well, that is the best. There are PVCs and places to organize it. Example of breakfast. Example of breakfast is go to any one of those cheap stores, 99 cents, or also one of those big supermarkets or markets, open ones. Buy oats, a whole big pack of oats. Those oats, then buy a container of milk that is made, which is a juice from especially hemp that is local, a coconut that can be also tasty, and also what can be tasty, soy is tasty sometimes, and alternate. Big, cheap, and made of seeds. And then have that stay in hot water, cook it, and add to it xylitol, or add to it whatever it is that adds to it calories and taste. I always think that adding to it fat helps. So adding, for instance, fat like coconut fat, and adding also to it is some fruits, especially that it's summer. So local fruits of season, or those that were given with sincerity and people rejoice. That is in abundance. Then that is what we can throw in. And so oats, fruits, so it can be each time something different. Also dried ones. To prepare dried food, you can collect or buy cheap fruits, slice, put on just parchment paper on window or somewhere else, dry, and throw them in each time in large quantities. Of course, it can be bought also, and it is a little bit more expensive depending on how many would benefit from eating it. To have it all place, even if it's a police station, can have containers of growing food, plant rice, beans, oats, and put them as decorative thingies that we do in Poland. For instance, when I was little, we do it for Easter, and we crop and put on top. It can be also wheatgrass, for instance. For me, wheatgrass is fantastic. Having wheatgrass grow and just trim it, and then put, if there is this commercial juicer that can be purchased, or have that hand squeeze juicer, the metal one, having it also sprinkled on food is delicious and nourishes. How much? Container, big one, and it can be stored like this. You see, that's actually not well, it's still seeds. The same is with rice, can be cooked that way, not only oats, and beans can be cooked that way. The Shaolin in China, the diet, that those are beans. they do beans, a large quantities of beans, because it's dense food and beans are cheap. So beans can be, or go to social services if it's generous area, like here it's a generous area, and ask, could I have a whole lot of beans? And if they have, a whole bag, and that is again mushed and served with fruits, dried fruits or fresh fruits, or salty. It can be with soy sauce and spices, and for instance, chili or something that is, spicy. Each week can be something different. So life is fun. Life is supposed to be amazing, okay, and fun, not something to be horrifying. For then second breakfast, brunch. For example, to divert a little bit from wheat, corn tortillas. Buy for $3 one of those large containers of tortillas, big ones, small, big ones, whichever. Frying pan, sorry, and have them warmed up. And on those, buy what's called meat for tortillas, which is not meat. Those are vegan recipes of Mexicans, very good ones. Or Americomex, Helen's Kitchen, for instance. Helen, like first name, his kitchen, can be ordered online, and there are other brands. I've checked quite a bit. Warm up. You can add some garlic and onion. It's spices up appetite, not sexual desire. Non-stop, the Buddhists say that it's about sexual desire. It's not true. It's not true, because garlic stinks. It has strong smell and it is nice. It's pleasant, but it's not necessary for all. If all a person eats is garlic, that is not sexy. And desire means desire to eat. It causes salivation because garlic is aromatic and it's good. The same is with the onions. So that is why it's not bad. It's not bad to have it. And how much? A lot. A lot. Thriving everything around? A lot. And with what? With pico and the gallo, which means alive birdies, a beak of a birdie, which is what? Chopped tomatoes, chopped onions, and chopped chilies, for instance, or a little bit of pepper. And then hot tortilla, a spoon of Helen's Kitchen, and some of the pico de gallo. Pico de gallo can also be purchased for about $2 or so from a supermarket, if somebody does not want to chop it. Chopping is fun. If somebody has a thing about knives, then chopping can be delegated to also persons working at a supermarket. And another idea about tortillas is also to have them spread with mayo, pico de gallo, and have, for example, this kind of recipe. Take a big piece of tofu, chop it into small pieces, or you can part it with hands, whichever. Chopping is okay. And then on hot oil, this vegetarian oil, fry it, adding on top of it coconut oil. And that will make it quite tasty. It can be sprinkled with a little soy, but that's about it. Fry it for how long? Until it's golden. And if small pieces, it can be placed into tortilla. If not, that can also be with a big container of rice or a big container of potatoes, served. And to that, salad is optional. I do not always crave salads. Some persons do. Salads have very little calories, like 5 calories, and I don't like mammal DNA on them, and that is why salads are on the side and are eaten, but I prefer the salads that are substantial. Potato salad. So for instance, good salad also for those in between meals, when one only works and does retreats, is great to have split piece. Okay, listen to me carefully now. Split piece from a can. With those split piece now, there is a need for vegan mayonnaise, and adding sliced carrots, which also can be the vegan, the ones from can, and also what's great to it, it can be also, for instance, a pineapple, a kind of sliced pineapple. All of it, unless somebody is not into sweets, which can be added something that is not sweet. I don't know what's in cans. For instance, garbazo beans, those round ones. Mixing all of it, mayo, salt, pepper, and it really is good. It can be also added with fermented vegan cheese. It's not cheap. It can be substituted with soy, and that or hummus. Hummus is also okay. Hummus sometimes it is expensive and somehow not the best, but it also is a meat. So that kind of salad has calories for also big men and women with muscle, not some wimpy type of a thing that has two leaves like a deer and runs around and already complains that that is gaining weight. Okay, that type of diet, more in between the meals, for cars for instance, there is also wonderful to have big jar of tea all the time hot and serve that tea. Adding to it now my favorite, because I have this dream about being this person that deals vegan sandwiches on streets on a motorcycle, but everything is closed apparently until August, which is some sort of a joke for me. Oh well. But so anyway, for these sandwiches, now the recipe is like this: bread can be baked, it's gonna be in the next video. Bread sliced so that it's easy, $1 in Walmart for instance. Bread spread on the venganese or other mayonnaise, vegan one. There's the one that is vegan in big jar. On top, slice of something like, let's say, vegan cheese, that is about $2, and on top of it lettuce, one piece of lettuce, tomato, a little bit of onions. Close it like this with second piece of bread. Spread on top mustard. Parchment paper is not the best. I like for it that tin foil or something transparent. Tin foil holds it longer. Some say bad for environment, but there are many things to do with tin foil. Tin foil can be made into a sculpture, put into container, thrown into recycling. Tin foil is not wasteful. If those sandwiches in a car left on the parking lot, opening, and it is, and not only a person can eat. If going somewhere that somebody was trying to eat a neighbor, like the song says, right, and or an ID, somebody said that they went and they were already in the fridge, that husband eaten by I don't know, they call it a lover, right? If somebody ate and chopped, well, made teriyaki, right? If the sandwiches were in a car, that could have prevented that harm. They just killed enough animals to confuse human as mammal with a cow or somebody that is made into a teriyaki, which is a chicken often, or fish. I am not into anything omega. Omega is good in food. A source of omega is also from plants. I used to have some sort of experimentation phase with all that is produced, including brains of cow in pills. Not any longer. When I've reviewed again how it is that actually I have the same DNA, it really is not as diet even palatable, even in small quantities if possible. Well, of course, when there's nothing else one ingests, but it's like kind of poison. That is about also coffee. Coffee in large quantities served. The best are seeds grown in the United States. $15 per cup is human compensation for someone occupying the lands. I don't know now. I don't know if it's Mexicans or whatever, but aiming at president is annoying. Find out, learn who is occupying us from growing on coffee. Whoever or whatever, I don't know. The persons are sluggish somehow, which means something is being again fornicated to give boob extract or somewhere, and we perceive it as urge to have emotional dope. That's not good.